Okay, so one of our last things here from our Spiral Ride series for our White Lace program. There's a lot of stuff you can do from the Spiral Ride that we're not going to touch on, but these are some things we think is manageable or quickly learnable for our beginner wrestlers. Okay, so I went Spiral Ride, and again, double thigh pry is good too, right? A lot of this is interchangeable, double thigh pry and Spiral Ride, but for our purposes here, I'm going to go thigh pry because I like to threaten that half real quick, right? Or I like looking to far arm. So I'm going Spiral Ride. Coach is staying strong, okay? And I can't get to that arm. I can't get to my half. His head's up, okay? I can't get to this wrist. I'm going to drop back, and my thigh pry is going to slide to the hip. My thigh pry slides to the hip. My knee that was in the butt is now right by his laces. So he's holding strong. My knee that was in the butt slides down to the laces, and my knee goes down to the mat. I'm going to cup his hip bone. I find that hip bone, I cup it, and I'm going to pull his hip up, his hip closest to me right down to the mat, right here. Once I do that, I'm going to slide in a deep tight waist, okay? And I'm going to look for wrist control here. I'm going to pull this wrist in. Coach makes the mistake of bringing his hips up. He brings his hips up, and I'm going to slide into my tilt here. Right to a tight waist tilt here, or a quick or cheap tilt. Okay? So Coach was staying strong through his hands. His neck and head are strong, and he's in a good position. I can't get to some of the stuff I've been doing before. So now instead of breaking down the arms, I'm going to break down the hips. I drop back, my knee that was on the tailbone goes to the right outside the foot by the ankle. My thigh pry slides to the hip, and I'm going to pull his hips down right in front of me. The hand that was cupping the hip goes to a deep tight waist. I'm trying to reach for this guy's spine. Okay, and I'm going to dig in for wrist control right here. I drive him forward, forward, forward. If he doesn't hip up, if he does, I go right to it. And I slide if I'm on the left side, I slide my left knee under his body. Now I'm going to pull him towards me as I roll him up to this tilt. I pull him towards me, and I get to my tilt. My left leg makes what we call a kickstand. My right leg is an elevator. Okay, my left leg is tight into my body with my knee pointing to the ceiling. Okay, and this is keeping his hips up, and my elevator helps with that as well, keeping his hips up. All right. One more time. Okay, Spiral Ride. Pull. Biggest thing to look out for is not pinning yourself, so understanding where your shoulders are, okay? Some of the common mistakes is we're going to scoop all the way to get to this tilt. We got to this tilt, and I don't have this guy's hips on top of my hips. His hips are on the mat, and yeah, now he can wrestle out. I want his hips on top of my hips, okay, so I can get to my tilt here. This is my kickstand leg. It's not straight, it's bent. Trying to knee into this guy's body, sandwiching him into my body. My other leg is elevating his far knee. Elevating. My tight waist, I'm clamping my elbow down through his hips to keep his hips pointing to the ceiling. And there's my tilt.